Hi, I'm Sean Hessinger, and this is Small Biz in 15, the show where we bring you small business success in 15 minutes or less. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the show. Recently, Small Biz in 15 on location traveled to Austin, Texas for Zoho Day 2022 and talked with several business leaders about CRM software. Here we speak with Felena Hansen, founder of Hera Hub, a co-working space and accelerator for women, Reid, Senior Director of Marketing for Counterculture Coffee, a specialty roaster, and Akshay, Bama, and Akhil Pippala of India-based car-sharing service Zoomcar about what to look for in a CRM platform. First, Felena Hansen.
So I wanted to talk first about what you need to think about, what small businesses need to think about when choosing a CRM system. Assuming you're just starting out, you have no CRM of any kind, you're really not, maybe you haven't even automated your marketing efforts yet. Yep. How do you start?
Yeah, I've actually gotten this question from thousands of businesses. Number one, understanding how you receive data. So there are platforms out there that are a little more visual, and some people want a bit more of a visual dashboard. There are some platforms that are very simple to set up, and then there are some that are more complex. So it really depends on your business and how you operate. Cost is always a factor with small businesses, so really understanding truly what the cost is. There are some CRMs on the market that appear to be inexpensive initially, but the setup process of that system and getting it integrated with your other systems ends up being thousands of dollars, and a lot of small business owners don't realize that. I also encourage small business owners to pay somebody to set up their system for them. I can't tell you how many small business owners I talk to, and they buy a CRM and they don't ever actually set it up correctly and really integrate it into their business, and therefore they're fledgling along and they never really activate that platform. So I always recommend, just like QuickBooks, right? If you're going to set up QuickBooks, hire somebody who knows what they're doing, set it up correctly, understand your business, and understand how that weaves into your other parts of your system. Because no software stands alone, right? It's integrated into your website. It might be integrated into your mail handling system or your email marketing system. And so understanding what that integration looks like and hiring somebody who knows what they're doing.
And let me ask you, you were talking a little bit about, depending on the kind of business you have, obviously, setting up a system that works with you. Can you give us an example, even maybe using your business as an example of like the kinds of things that you want to think about that you need with your business that would make you choose one CRM system over another?
Yeah, the usability is so critically important. We have a team, and if my team, I have 6 co-working locations, and if all 6 locations are not utilizing that platform to its fullest, it's completely moot, right? So the usability of it, the simplicity of accessing that platform, the reports that come out of the platform and how you use those reports. So with Zoho, we have automated reports that come out weekly, monthly, etc. And so making sure that our team is engaging with that information in those reports. We've been using Zoho for over 10 years, and so the amount of information on our database is amazing. And so I always remind our location directors, everybody is so fanatical about social media marketing, and they have to be everywhere. And I keep saying to them, go back to the people that have already raised their hand. Maybe it was a couple years ago, but go back to those people and remind them you exist. And that's what a good CRM can do if it's used properly and everything is documented. We always say, if it's in your head as a small business owner, that's a problem. You have a bottleneck issue, right? Has to be in a database somewhere where you can query and find that information and use that information.
Next, Reid, Senior Director of Marketing at Counterculture Coffee, explains how choosing the right CRM for your business is important.
Can you give us an example from your experience? Like, take your business, for example, and tell us a little bit about the kinds of specific needs that you were looking for from a CRM software.
Yeah, so, Counterculture Coffee has been around for 27 years, and it really got its start, sourcing the best coffees in the world, selling it to the best coffee shops in the country. So for Counterculture, for instance, one of the uniques that we have is we have a distributed sales force in 13 different cities across the country, trying to go after some of the best coffee shops, restaurants in the country. So from a reporting perspective, it's not super flat, right? There's sales and account managers, there's regional managers, there's a director of wholesale. And so we need to be able to really quickly understand trends in specific areas, as well as nationally, what types of accounts are we winning? What does our business look like from, say, a food service to a local coffee shop and things like that. So those are, it's very specific to that kind of national focus that we have. But then for our regional teams to really be able to dig in and understand the data, understand what does a win percentage look like when someone comes in as a cold lead versus when do they come in as a warm lead.
Okay. The other thing I was going to ask about CRM specifically for small or medium-sized businesses is maybe what do you think some mistakes are that maybe businesses make when they're looking for a CRM and they think they need something that they don't need?
Yeah, I think, one is I think that a business, before they even go in to starting to do that CRM, trying to understand what do they, what does this CRM do or what does this CRM do? They need to understand what do they need, right? So that's the first thing, because you're going to get sold on everything, and you're going to say, oh my gosh, well, that would be great, or that would be great, or that would be great. And it's at the end of the day, like, what are you trying to do? So I can speak to counterculture, right? What we're trying to do is we're trying to understand our business, understand what are our teams doing, and then being able from a high level understand, what do those stages look like? And so what we don't necessarily need is we don't need a bunch of bells and whistles, or we don't need to basically connect to, say, some lead generation thing where you can buy a list of 100,000, right? That's not important for us because 100,000 coffee shops, there's only going to be a small amount of those that are actually going to go buy from us. So that's just like one in a list of a million things that we don't need. What we need is we need data integrity. We need to be able to make changes quickly. We also need to be able to onboard a growing team very fast as well. So it can't be something that you have to have an extreme amount of technical knowledge to be able to utilize. A lot of our sales team worked in coffee shops previously. They're not like, coming from huge companies that they've been working in CRMs their entire life. They've really, know how to make the best espresso. They know how to talk about the best coffees. And they have a passion for the product that we sell, and they want to be able to talk about that and share that and win new accounts.
Without getting too technical, you mentioned mentioned the phrase data integrity, but I think it's probably something a lot of small businesses understand if they understand what you mean by that. So when you say data integrity in terms of CRMs, what do you mean?
Yeah, so there's two things. One is having the correct processes in place for the team to make sure that they're inputting data correctly. And then also understanding the reporting functionality as well. So for counterculture, for instance, we've got a lot of different lines of business. We sell wholesale, we sell grocery, and we sell direct to consumer. Making sure that when we're trying to understand what's happening, how are those all coming into the system, and then we're making sure that we're not conflating variables because of, say, we see a huge amount of pounds, like coffee bean pounds, going through. Oh wait, that's a grocery. That's not a wholesale. Right, and so we need to be getting the best data in so that we can make the most data-informed choices possible.
Akshay Bama and Akhil Pippala of Zoomcar explain the major criteria to consider when choosing a CRM platform.
We had worked with other CRMs in the past. I wouldn't like to name those for sure, but there are certain levels. A lot of CRMs actually are built vertically rather than being industry agnostic, And that challenges for various organizations the kind of customization they want from the CRM, the kind of problems it should address. When we were evaluating this CRM, we were evaluating it for the supply side of things. So we are a marketplace. We have two stakeholders, supply and demand, right? So supply is all the car owners, and guests are the people who are looking to take a car for a short-term lease. So when we were evaluating this for the supply side, we wanted to ensure that the CRM has capabilities of solving top to bottom, and it is accessible bottom to up. So we didn't want the CRM to be just operated via an operating system. We wanted an application to be in place. We wanted it to be capable enough to to cater to the needs of each and every cross function that is going to come in. So, performance marketing alliances, anybody in our growth team that is working on building the top of the funnel, it should absolutely fulfill their needs. Second is the middle of the funnel. So conversion happens through call centers. So it should be usable by the call center team as well. And at the bottom of the funnel is our city and our on-ground ops team. We wanted to ensure that people who are on the field are able to execute the task in the best possible manner, and everything is omni-channelized. So these were the factors that we evaluated while shortlisting down on a CRM.
Go ahead.
I just want to add one.
Yes,
point.
yeah.
So also we had a few more requirements besides just the CRM. Something like we wanted the invoicing to be happen, and at the same time we wanted for the lead generation, right? So we would be requiring a different kinds of tool to capture all those leads. So at the same time we got the option of Zoho Books and the Zoho Forms and everything also, so that all these tools was more helping, so that everything will be on a one platform like a Zoho.
Because you mentioned a couple of things, I'm not going to ask you to mention any names, but because you mentioned that, it makes me think that you probably have had CRM systems that are not what you wanted or needed. And I'm wondering if there's something in particular on the negative side when you're looking for a CRM that you have to think about when you're looking for a platform like this, because there's a lot of them out there.
Yeah, fair enough. So they're taking a dig on the other ones in a smarter manner, but I would like to say the kind of things that we evaluate are obviously the privacy part of it, and the data engineering pipeline. So we want our database to interact with the CRM always, right? We basically create the pipeline between the two things, but earlier, we faced problems with other CRMs where the data pipeline was not smooth as enough, which was a big challenge. At the same point of time, their customer support was not up to the mark in terms of turning around the things that were wanted from our end in a given period of time. So I think the biggest factor is always customer service. If a CRM agnostic of the kind of industry it's catering to, bigger enterprise client or a smaller business, if their customer service is exceptional, they'll never let anybody churn out. So I think that's one more thing that we feel and evaluated while onboarding the CRM.
And now it's time for our small biz tip in 15 seconds or less. When buying CRM software, focus on your business's specific needs. This will help you avoid spending money on features you may never use. Thanks again to our small business experts, and please like and subscribe if you enjoyed today's show. And please leave a comment and let us know what topics you'd like to see covered in future episodes. For more small business news and tips, join us at smallbiztrends.com.